Now, the first thing I look for as soon as she put her arms over her head is whether I saw a change in her lower back. You can see, put your arms up for a second. If you guys look up on this side, you see that she's got a pretty big lordosis in her lower back, right? Let me turn this one. See, she's got a pretty big lordosis in her lower back. Now, put your arms over your head. But you don't see a change in her lordosis when you put her arms over her head. That's pretty good, right? So right there, she passed the test. Relax for a second. Elena, same thing. So feet together. So Elena, she's got a nice lordosis. She's not excessive, just a normal curve here. Arms over your head. Right? Not too big of a change. Okay, so the two of them pass. Most of my patients, when they come in because they're symptomatic, they fail as soon as their arms go over their head because they find a pivot point. What's a pivot point? The body borrows movement from where it could find movement from. So if you had a rich uncle and you had a poor uncle and you're in college and you needed money, who do you call? Rich uncle, right? So you're going to borrow money from where you can borrow money from. You're going to borrow movement where you can borrow movement from. But here's the problem with that. When you borrow movement from those segments that pivot, and you might see this in one of these two, I'm going to guess Sadie more than Elena, right? Is what's going to happen is when every vertebrae is contributing to the movement, so like maybe if you're going to extension, every vertebrae is going into anterior translation to make that extension, that pivot point goes backwards, right? And that's what causes the pivot. And that's the problem because that segment is immobile, so it moves the wrong way. If you can pick that up, your clients will think you're fucking cool. I literally, like, patients that have back pain, right? Back pain could be here, back pain could be here. People sometimes say it's up here. I go, it hurts right there, right? And they go, how'd you know that? 9 out of 10 times I'm right. The other times they're just crazy, right? All right, so, Sadie, come on this one. So this is purely sagittal plane. Can you fix this? Okay. Arms over your head. Now, my guess, if I'm right, and Sadie's weak in the anterior chain, is that she's going to pivot from right here, right? Lean back. She just made me look like a genius, right? Everything happened right. You saw that?
Yeah.
Turn that way. Thank you. So, here, watch. Everything happened from right there, right? So if she has back pain, she probably feels it right there, because that's where she's moving from. So everything here just stays straight, and everything here kind of comes to that point, and she moves from the beginning. To the left? Yeah, on the SI joint? Yeah. Okay, so it's further down, but that's below where she has pivot. But you see that a lot on the SI joints because that's an area where usually left side, right? Right hand? It's usually left side. Okay? Elena, we're not done. Okay. All right. Arms up your head. Now, if I had to guess, I think Elena is either going to pivot from right here, or maybe she'll shock me and she'll pivot from here, but she's a trained dancer, so I don't know. Okay? We're going to do that. So she pivots higher up. See that? So, what's normal? Normal should be each vertebrae contributing to the movement, but she's finding one spot higher up. So, what's occasionally I'll get somebody come to my practice and they'll have like an L1, L2, or L3 disc problem. They usually move like a car. However, dancers, Pilates people, yoga people, they do that. Okay? So when I'm looking at back extension, I'm looking for that pivot point. Now, neither one of them did. Will you go back here? Arms up. Go back. Actually, no, she does. The ribs open up. Turn that way. Side out, face it. Okay? Watch this. The ribs open up. Right? So if the ribs open up, that means that her torso, relax your arms for a second. So if I drew a circle here for her torso, that would be one circle, right? And then her lower body would be another circle. When she bends back, go ahead and bend back. Yep. This circle here is bending back, but this circle is staying here, and that's why she's pivoting at that point, because the anterior core might be weak. It might not be weak, that might just be the strategy she uses because that's how she learned how to dance, right? Or what happens, watch what she doesn't do. Arms over your head. Lean back. Very little, if any, anterior shift in her pelvis, right? Now, put your arms over your head. Now shift back. Shift forward as you go back. Shift your pelvis forward as you go back. Right? Change the movement because now she's pivoting from lower. It's still dysfunctional, but it's safer. Right? Okay? Touch your toes. okay? When you're looking for, let your head forward. When you're looking for toe touch, you're looking for uniformity of the curve, right? You may see that people, when they're doing the toe touch, right, they don't have a posterior shift. Those are your yoga people, right? Or they have like a little bump here. They bend from here. That's dysfunctional. She's not dysfunctional in flexion. She's dysfunctional in extension. So if she has that pain, I would assume she's extension intolerant, not flexion intolerant. Okay? Unless she has pain. No pain. What's that? Sure.
Where would you want to see the pivot point, like between like
You want to see
T12
all
and?
the vertebrae contributing together. You don't want to see it.
Oh, you don't.
There's points usually where that pain. Raise your head. So Sadie's a little different. She's kind of flat, right? So she's not curving. She's kind of staying kind of rigid here. And I think it's because when you saw her bend backwards, you saw that she bent from here and this kind of stays rigid. If I had to guess, for thoracolumbar junction, like T12 to L1, when I said that's a transition there, is stuck. So she can't, you can't flatten right here.
Yes, like normal.
Yeah, because you feel it right here, right? Hamstrings? Okay, coming up. So, not dysfunctional in flexion, dysfunction in flexion and extension, which means that she's dysfunctional in the sagittal plane in general. She's only dysfunctional in extension. Okay? So, two different people, two different body types, two different presentations. So let's look at their posterior change, whether they're accurate or not. So, Lynn, you mind laying on your stomach? Actually, can you go to the front so that we'll see you might go like in front of the projector? So, Yanda, our friend who pointed up her roller cross window, created another test called the Yanda Prone Hip Extension Test, right? This is a muscle firing test. Now, what's cool about this is with client patients tell me, and trainers that train the patients tell me all the time that the patient's glutes on fire. And I say, how do you know? And they say, well, the client doesn't feel it. Well, that's not enough. Right? I have clients that are definitely in the autistic spectrum. They're brilliant and they can't feel their body. So they're like, I can't feel it. I can see your butt firing and they're telling me they can't feel it. Right? So feeling to me is subjective. I want to see an objective test to pretty much conclude whether or not their glutes aren't firing. So can I have you open your legs a little bit? The glute max, a lot of times when people do this test, they do it incorrectly because the glute max doesn't run straight down like this. It runs at an angle. So it runs towards the hip from the sacrum. So if you open the legs a little bit, they're more in plane with the glute max, right? So when you do this on a table, I like to have them put their arms to their side. Just let them hang down, but watch them because they'll cheat. No, you can't do it. Don't worry, the first will be hard. Because they'll cheat and they'll squeeze the table to activate their core. It's a cheat. You don't want that. Okay, that's not what's going to happen in a deadlift or a squat, right? So all I need you to do is keep your legs straight on the side and lift it up. No, just one.
This one?
Now down. Good. Now left. Right? Now if you watch what she did, you mind if I roll this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. See the dip here? See the dip there? Mm-hmm. So what's happening is if she could fire her glute max properly, it would inhibit her from going so far up into her lumbar spine to find a pivot point that she uses with extension when she's standing up. So if she can't fire her glute properly, what she's doing is she's actually extending from her lower back. So you'll have those clients that do the like the hip thrusters, like with the weight, and the next day they're backwards. But they look like they're hinging because they don't lock out, and because they don't lock, or even a glute bridge. A glute bridge seems like a very easy, gentle exercise. But if you're not locking out, you're gonna hinge through your lower back. So the way you can see this is if you know the glute max is going this way, and the sacrum is where it starts and the leg is where it ends, that means that the contraction is this way. So if she's firing first from the glute max, you wouldn't see any activation of the hamstring before she fires the glute, right? So just do the right side. Lift this side. And sort of no change in the tone of the glute, right? Left side. And sort of some change in the, did you see that? Watch this side here. Nothing. Now this side. So she fires from the left, right? Mm-hmm. So she definitely fired her left glute max a little bit better than she fired her right. That's good, except it's going to create asymmetry, which is not good, right? Sometimes it's better if it doesn't fire at all versus one side just firing. But if you identify this because you saw something funky in the FMS or during your EcoFit, then you can, like, you might say to her, you may not be ready until we can get you to fire correctly, but then you're going to have to break it down and figure out why. Okay? So here's the order this is supposed to happen. When they lift their legs to initiate, the glute max fires first. The same hamstring fires second. The lumbar erector spine on the opposite side fires third. Then this one, then the lat, then the opposite lat. What you're going to see with a lot of people who don't fire well, they sit at the desk all day long, they're not well trained, is that their lat, lift this fire. They lift this leg and make this fire. They squeeze this. You see the lat fire for them to lift their leg because they're trying to tap into the oblique system, but they're only doing it from the top, right? And that's a bad firing pattern that can get hurt, right? So this is a kind of good test. If you see the dipping in the lower back, it's almost a dead giveaway, right? The other thing you could do, but you have to get their permission. I'm going to put my hand underneath you. The ASIS, which is the bump in the front of the pelvis, let your pelvis just lay on here, right? Lift your right leg. She's pinching. She's destroying my middle finger right now because she's putting so much pressure on her ASIS, which means that there's no way that she's firing her glute max, right? So if I go on this side and I compare, go ahead. Less, but still, right? So she's not firing, okay? So that's a good way of knowing. If someone tells you they have a history of back pain, but they hadn't had back pain in 2 years, guess what? She could have it. You get back pain? You get back pain?
No.
Okay. So she doesn't tap into the movement patterns that can hurt her, or she avoids it, or she just finds it some other way. So she compensates, but you're young. What's in your mind?
Hey, Selena, so if it doesn't
Let
fire...
me tell you something. I don't know what happens between 35 and 40, but just like that, things start to change. Okay, thank you. Yep, you're next. Yep.
If you want more glute activation, instead of having her lift her legs straight up, if you tell her to lift it to the side just the way the muscle inserts, would you get more activation?
You
there?
might, but she could also use her glute medius once you get too far, right? So like you don't want her to compensate. Like so, for instance, like if you do like a sumo versus like a non-sumo, you might get them to be a little bit safer. You know, that's why sometimes people are more comfortable with sumo. Yeah.
So if she's not firing it, her glute in this test, is she ever firing it through like movement?
She's definitely firing it. It's just not enough for a loaded fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the big misconception. Like I'm sure if we took an EMG and we put it on her glute, we would see some activation. It's just not enough to stabilize her under load. So if she can't lift her leg without load, what do you think's going to happen when we put her on the load? And this is not even standing. So this is like, you know, gravity is an issue if she's lifting her leg. But if she's standing and she's not firing, and then she picks up, like if she tries to do a deadlift or a squat and she can't like stabilize, she can get hurt. Right?
Wow.
So what's our job is to make sure that people are exercising and they're safe so they can do it for the rest of their life. I constantly see people posting about their PRs, and I don't know if it's like, we talk about this all the time in my practice with some of the older, like my older clients, is like, it just got to a point where I just don't give a shit, like about PRs. It doesn't mean anything to my life, as long as I can keep doing what I want to do. Like, you're young and you can get away with it, but everything you do when you're young does matter when you get older. Right? So if you live your life erratically when you're young, it will be payback eventually. You know? So, you know, you choose what you want to do so that you don't injure yourself, but once you get injured, like my sister texted me yesterday, she's like, I hurt my wrist. Right? Again. So a few years ago she pulled the door of my office, which is heavy, and she hurt her wrist. And 2 years later, saved her again. She's like, how does that happen? I said, once you mess with the integrity of a joint, that joint is compromised, and it can always be injured again. And I mentioned that in the first session, where I said your favorite player usually injures the same body part, like Derrick Rose, right? Where's his issues? Right? So it's always the same thing, right? And he plays for the Knicks. Okay. Okay, so Sadie, just and you don't want to touch them before they do this test because that can actually influence the outcome of the test. So let me have you lift this up. And put it down. Okay. Okay, right side to it again. Okay. Not as much dipping as you saw with Elena, right? Left side. And that wasn't so bad. But what I did see was some muscle activation to initiate on the right. So it was a little suspect. So if you're not sure, you can try this and just Cindy, do you mind if I put my hand on your foot? Okay, just let your, now, lift your right leg. And like, I felt some pressure, but it wasn't like Elena, right? But, so she's firing, she's stabilizing, and I thought that she was stabilizing a little bit better on the right, and then on this side, on the left. Whoa, she almost killed me. What did I do again? That was a little better, right? So, I mean, you can even cue them, like, you know, if you want to see if the core can help, we'll go back to any of those core activation exercises that we talked about earlier and see if it makes it a little bit better. So when she crushed me on the left here, right? Do me a favor, do push out into the fingers. Hold that, now lift your left leg. Barely touch me, right? So it got her to fire a little bit better because she got better alignment of her joints so that she can access her glutes a little bit better. That's why the core is so important, right? So now you learned a way of dealing with these issues, but it doesn't tell you why she has it in the first place. If she has a tight psoas on one side, which is a hip flexor, right? That can inhibit her glutes, right? If she has tight quads, short quads on one side, it can inhibit her posterior chain. Right? So all those things matter. How do I, let's see, maybe I can tell. Does she have tight quads? Does she have tight rectus femoris? Can she touch her heel to her butt? No, right? Can she touch her heel to her butt on this side? Nuh-uh, right? So that already tells me, just from this assessment alone, simply, if her anterior chain is short and maybe inhibitory to her posterior chain, right? And these are the kind of things that I see every day, right? So if someone can touch their heel, can you lay down next to Sadie? Now with dancers, they're usually super, no problem. Right? So it might not be her actual. It might not be her quads that are inhibiting her, right? It could be her psoas, because this doesn't really test the psoas, right? How do you test the psoas length? What's a test that you all should know that tests the psoas length?
Thomas test?
Thomas's test, right? So if you use Thomas's test, and Thomas's test shows that their leg is like pointing up in the air, right? And the psoas could be short, and that's not supposed to happen. So you can assume possibly that that's involved, right? And maybe help them with the psoas stretch. What's another muscle that's a flexor, as one of its roles that can be short, that can inhibit the posterior chain, especially the glutes?
Sword muscle.
TFL. You were going to say TFL, right, JP? You say TFL, right?
Yeah.
TFL. Right? So if the TFL is short, right, it's going to put her into an anterior tilt, right, which is going to be opposite of the glute maximus. I see. So, there's a little more information that I promised I wasn't going to give you, that I gave you, so that you can start doing some